Konami has canceled a Nintendo Switch exclusive that, well, a lot of you probably forgot was even coming out, but I was kind of looking forward to the game. Alex Kidd is back for some reason. After like a 30-year hiatus, he's getting a new game. And finally, the new Arcade1Ups have been revealed. What games are they, and what games will I be buying from it? What's up, guys? I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. So looking back to E3 2018, Konami secretly revealed that they were doing a Nintendo Switch exclusive game, and a lot of people got very excited for it. Could they be going into their back catalog of games? Maybe a Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes remake? Obviously that was a GameCube exclusive. Could that be making the jump to the Nintendo Switch? And then, well, we learned about the game, and the game in question was Hyper Sports R, a game that sort of looks like a Konami track and field game. Now, before you write this game off, which I guess you should write it off since it's been canceled anyways, this game I think had a little bit of potential. You gotta remember, the track and field series has been around for quite a while. They made one on the Nintendo DS that was actually a lot of fun. It actually had throwback characters from various Konami franchises that you could unlock and play as in the game. So it wasn't like a super serious style of Olympic game. It was more just something fun that you could play with your friends. So I was kind of looking forward to Hyper Sports R, but now I am no longer looking forward to it because Konami has officially canceled the game. In a press release that they put up on their website, they basically said the following. As of today, we have decided to discontinue development on Hyper Sports R for the Nintendo Switch. The team had been continually working on the game since its initial reveal in June 2018. However, after much consideration, we have decided to cancel its development due to various circumstances. We deeply apologize to all of our valued customers who have been patiently anticipating the release of this game for this significant inconvenience. We hope that you will continually enjoy our products and services. Not really, like I said, I feel like most people forgot about this game. I was probably the only one kind of looking forward to it in at least some degree, but really, I think the end of that sentiment is really strange to me. Enjoy our products and services. What products have you put out? Like, yeah, there was the TurboGrafx 16 Mini, you did the Contra and the Castlevania collection, but what have you done like beyond that? You don't even go into your back catalog of games to make new games for these awesome franchises that you have. Games like Silent Hill, games like Castlevania, games like Contra, and now you're getting rid of Hyper Sports R? Like, that's just disrespectful. Now, obviously, I'm kidding about that. But I think this would have been an interesting game to at least check out. I'm guessing there were some developmental problems with the game, and now Konami is not releasing the game. And yeah, maybe we'll see Silent Hill tomorrow at Sony's presentation. A lot of people are anticipating that Silent Hill could be one of the games that is revealed, but Konami is just such a weird company, and this is just such a Konami decision to, of course, showcase this game, talk about this game, and then ultimately cancel this game. So were you one of the 5 people who was looking forward to Hyper Sports R for the Nintendo Switch? Are you saddened by this announcement? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Speaking of old franchises, Sega kids will probably remember a franchise called Alex Kidd, which was supposed to be Sega's answer to essentially Mario. That just kind of went away when they got Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic the Hedgehog kind of took over his place, and Alex Kidd was doomed to obscurity. But now, for some reason, Alex Kidd is coming back. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX is coming to the Nintendo Switch, to Steam, and Xbox and PlayStation platforms in Q1 2021. Now, this is a remake of the original Alex Kidd in Miracle World. They've added in some new things like new levels and new graphics, but there's also a retro mode that you can access at any time in order to revert to the classical graphical style of the original Alex Kidd game. There's a boss rush mode. Some of the bosses are redone as well, and really, I'm just puzzled by this. Like, Alex Kidd, was anyone really asking for a new Alex Kidd game in 2021? I mean, I'm definitely going to check out this game. I do think Alex Kidd is a pretty solid series. You know, it's not the greatest. It obviously started out on the Master System. There was a Genesis game, but then, like I said, Sonic the Hedgehog pretty much just took over as Sega's mascot when, you know, you had to have a mascot for your company. That was sort of the 90s motif that was happening. Nintendo had Mario. Sonic was, of course, a part of Sega. Sony had Crash Bandicoot. It was all about the mascots back in the day, but I do think this game does look pretty interesting. It's obviously a nostalgic trip. I'm cool with nostalgic trips. I like seeing, of course, back catalogs of games being re-released for the modern era with some new enhancements done to them, and I think they've done a pretty good job with the art style of this game. I'll be looking forward to more information on this. Like I said, Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX is coming to the Nintendo Switch, Steam, and Xbox and PlayStation platforms in Q1 2021, so a springtime release for it, and I'm looking forward to getting more information on it. Are you excited that Alex Kidd is back, though? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, of course, we got some new information on Arcade1Up machines that are supposedly releasing in fall of 2020. Today we learned about 4 new arcade cabinets and 1 new digital pinball thing. You guys know I absolutely love Arcade1Up, so I was really looking forward to IGN's reveal of this, and this is the stuff that we got. So kicking things off with the digital pinball things, we have Marvel Digital Pinball coming to us from Arcade1Up. Now, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan in the world. I do like Spider-Man. I think he's pretty cool, but other characters, you know, they don't really resonate with me all that much, but I do think this is a really good looking digital pinball machine. Obviously, Arcade1Up is dipping their toes into the digital pinball market. We of course got the announcement of Star Wars earlier this year getting a digital pinball machine, and I do like the look of this. I probably won't pick it up. If I do end up picking a digital pinball machine up, it will probably be the Star Wars one, just because I think that looks a little bit cooler. I definitely don't want to get into the habit of collecting these. They are going for about $500, and of course they take up a lot of room, and I don't really have much room as it is, but a Marvel digital pinball machine, I think people will be excited about that, and I think people will like that. Now when it comes to the Arcade1Up cabs themselves, like I said, we got information on 4 new arcade cabinets. The first one is not really a big deal to me, but it's something that I think bodes well for the future of Arcade1Up, and that is a Big Buck Hunter machine coming to us from Arcade1Up. This machine has Big Buck Hunter Pro, Big Buck Hunter Open Season, Big Buck Safari, Big Buck Safari Outback. So if you ever wanted to shoot bucks in the comfort of your own home without, you know, having to get ammunition and stuff, this is a great way to do it. Now, like I said, I don't really care about these games. I did play them at an arcade once that was at a movie theater, and like, they're fun, but the games themselves don't really, you know, they're not something that I would go out of my way to go and play. But what I like about this is it really shows that light gun games have a great potential on Arcade1Up machines. I would love to see something like House of the Dead / Virtual Cop 1 and 2 come to us from Sega via an Arcade1Up machine. So while I don't necessarily care about the games that are available on this first light gun machine from Arcade1Up, I do think it bodes well for the future, and I hope that we get more light gun games. You know, there's so many awesome arcade light gun games. You have the Jurassic Park games, Time Crisis, Area 51, like the list goes on and on. So definitely good for the future of Arcade1Up, but for me personally, I don't really care about this one. Next up, we got a pretty sizable announcement of a game that really never gets re-released all that much, and it's a shame because really, in my opinion, it's the best version of that game, and that is Miss Pac-Man. Yes, Miss Pac-Man is getting an Arcade1Up machine, and like I said, this game really hasn't been re-released all that often because of things like litigation. It's basically tied up in a bunch of different legal stuff, but Miss Pac-Man, of course, was last seen on the Sega Genesis, a fantastic version of that game, and now is getting an Arcade1Up machine. There will be 4 games available on the Miss Pac-Man arcade cabinet. You of course get Miss Pac-Man, you get Galaxian, you get Pac-Mania, and Pac-Man Plus. Now I really like the way this system looks. It looks like the original Miss Pac-Man machine, and I actually have fond memories of playing Miss Pac-Man, both on the Sega Genesis and the arcade version itself. I remember my dad was like into Hi-Li. If you don't know what Hi-Li is, go ahead and look it up, but he would always go to this Hi-Li place, and one time he brought me along with him, but they had a Miss Pac-Man machine, so he gave me a handful of quarters, and literally that's all I did that whole time was sit there and play Miss Pac-Man. So I definitely really enjoy this game. Like I said, I do feel that Miss Pac-Man is a better game than just Pac-Man is itself. I feel it's a little bit faster and a little bit more responsive, so definitely a very cool machine. I might actually end up picking this one up. I usually sort of steer away from like the 80s arcade stuff because I don't really have much nostalgia for it, but when it comes to Miss Pac-Man, I do love Miss Pac-Man, so I might end up picking it up. Now the final 2 cabinets are sort of blended in together, and that's where things get really interesting because they're both based on Marvel stuff, or X-Men stuff in this case, as these 2 new arcade cabinets are bringing a 1 game that will be available on both cabinets, that game being X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but both cabinets do have their own individual artwork. The first cabinet, like I said, will have X-Men vs. Street Fighter on it, Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men Children of the Atom, and X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Now obviously X-Men vs. Street Fighter is a fantastic game. I have it on the Sega Saturn. I absolutely love it, so definitely very stoked to see this get its own Arcade1Up cabinet, but I do have a few questions about this cabinet. One thing being, X-Men Children of the Atom is already available on the Marvel Superheroes cabinet that I have from Arcade1Up, so kind of like, okay, you're sort of double dipping on this game, but the real question is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Now X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, as far as I am aware, was a 2D side-scroller that released on the Super Nintendo and never was an arcade game in the first place. It was developed by Capcom specifically for the Super Nintendo. Everything I looked up online, I didn't see any sort of arcade version version of this game, so I'm kind of curious, is a Super Nintendo game going to be included on this X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet? I think that would kind of open up a lot of doors and be very interesting if that was the case. But and like I said, as far as I can tell, this game was only released on the Super Nintendo, so if there was an arcade version of the game, let me know in the comment section down below. But definitely a very cool cabinet. And then the second cabinet has Marvel superheroes on it, Marvel War of the Gems, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, and Marvel versus Street Fighter. Now, as far as which one I'm going to pick up, it's probably going to be the X-Men versus Street Fighter one. I just love the artwork on that cabinet. I think it looks so awesome, and it's very iconic, and I'm interested to see what this X-Men Mutant Apocalypse game is on it. I might end up, messing around and buying both of the systems. I don't really have room for all of that, but definitely some very, very cool stuff here. There will be some different issues of these systems as well, some custom risers that come with these systems as well, if you choose to get those. They did say that these will probably also feature the light up marquee as well, which is sort of becoming a staple for the Arcade1Up machines. But definitely some very exciting stuff here, some very cool stuff that we're seeing from Arcade1Up, and I really hope that we start to see more stuff from them. Obviously, real world situations have pretty much put a damper on manufacturing and things like that, but I would love to see Arcade1Up be able to expand to a bigger company so they can get more arcade games available for people to play in their houses. Like I said, I absolutely love these things. I already have 5 of them. I'm probably end up getting to buy Miss PacMan and X-Men versus Street Fighter, and then there's NBA Jam coming out as well. I don't have room for this stuff, but you know what? I will find room for them. Alright, so that will wrap things up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. Are you sad about Hypersports R no longer coming to the Switch? What do you think about Alex Kidd coming back in 2021? Because, well, that's a thing. And the new Arcade1Up machines. Are you excited for these? What machines do you plan on picking up? Or do you not care about these at all? Then I have to question, well, why did you watch this video? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel. We did an eShop sale video that's going on right now, earlier today on the channel, so make sure you guys check that out. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.